As has been said over these last days, two evocative statements have been made. One is that our destination is not nirvana, enlightenment, God realization, or cosmic consciousness. Our destination is a state of absence of illusion. And the second statement made is that love is the greatest illusion of all. But to qualify that statement, there has to be added that love and light are the greatest illusions of all. And since love and light are synonymous, when we study love, we're also studying light. Now, by Divine Mother's own admission, she was a transmitter of the light, and she was given the power of Ramakrishna to use that light, that power, to change the consciousness and to give initiation. There's that story about a young boy, Goraksha was his name, and he was indentured by his father to a farmer to become a shepherd, to augment the money that was to sustain his large and very poor family. Now one day, as Goraksha was sitting under a tree, chewing on a piece of grass, watching over his flock, a great shadow appeared over him, and when he looked, he saw that it was the Great God Minarpa. And Minarpa said to Goraksha, "Look over yonder, where you see those vultures flying. There lies a prince whose limbs have been dismembered from his body, and his life blood is seeping into the earth. Will you help him?" Immediately, without a moment's thought, Goraksha jumped up and said, "Yes, I will go." But then, as an afterthought, he said to Minarpa, "But when I do so, you have to take care of my flock." And this Minarpa agreed to do. So Goraksha hurried off to the place where the vultures were flying, and there under a tree lay the prince, his arms and legs severed, and his blood seeping into the earth. Quickly, Goraksha tore off his own garments and bound the horrible, horrific wounds to stem the flow of blood, made the prince comfortable before he hastened back to the hill where his flock was feeding, and Minarpa, the god, was taking care of them. So telling Minarpa that he had done what was there to do to bind the wounds and stem the blood flow, Minarpa said to Goraksha, "Will you take care of this prince, making sure that he is able to fulfill that which sustains life, to eat, drink, sleep, and defecate. And Goraksha agreed. And Minarpa said, "How will you take care of him?" And Goraksha said, "The farmer gives me food every day. I will share it with the prince." And so it was for 12 years, as both Goraksha and the prince grew to manhood, that Goraksha took care of his needs, every day bringing food, changing the bandages on his wounds, clearing up the defecation. But after those 12 years, one day Goraksha came to fulfill his duties as usual, when to his very great surprise, there was the prince standing on 2 strong legs, with arms muscled and full. So the prince, laughing at Goraksha, said, "Close your mouth, you'll have a fly flow into it." But then the prince related to Goraksha that in those 12 years, following the instruction of his guru, who had given him a meditative process of regeneration, his limbs were able to be returned to him. And the prince said to Goraksha, "Having learned this meditation from my guru, I can pass it on to you." But Goraksha said, "In these 12 years, I have followed the instructions of my guru Minarpa, and will continue to do so." So he left and returned, and Minarpa came and asked Goraksha, how was the prince faring? And Goraksha was able to tell him that he was now full-bodied and cured, now an able-bodied man. So Minarpa congratulated and thanked Goraksha for his devotion and his dedication, and proceeded to give him initiation and empowerment with the ability to himself go abroad and bring initiation and a change of consciousness to others. And so Goraksha did for the rest of his long life. Love and light, synonymous, the same. And this story and the story of the true story of Divine Mother's life, the transmitter of light to change the consciousness of those who came. But we can ask, in our exploration of love, recognizing it now as the same, synonymous with, is the love that Goraksha was demonstrating? What is this experience for us? Have we not had those moments when something was presented to us and without a thought, without a question, we responded with action? Yes, I'll do it, and do so.
It's like unconditional